After you watch this video, you're gonna know whether or not to buy this complexion stick or try something else. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's gonna be a quick one. FYI, I am a human. This is an actually honest review. This is not sponsored. I am not being paid by anybody to say the following. I have shared hundreds of reviews over the past 10 years over here, and it always starts with what's going on inside of this formula. Ingredient scan. I'm going to keep this pretty high level. A couple of quick call outs that I want you to know. I have shade sand, palomino is new, and bisque is another one. I reviewed this when it first came out. I reviewed it in 2024. I thought, might as well give it a 2026 zhuzh. The brand used to have polyethylene and BHT in here. Those are both gone, which are positive improvements in my book. Cruelty-free, vegan, titanium dioxide, and silicones are also inside. They're fully transparent about what's inside their formulas. This used to be 0.13 ounces. This is the previous complexion stick. The current size is 0.23 ounces. Did we get more product for the same amount? Is it opposites day? I'll take it. Second, application. And you think you would just breeze over this one, but this is actually where the meat of every review lies because application changes everything. This is palomino. You can see swatches of all of the different shades in the video here and on my scorecard review post back on the site. But palomino, light medium for me, these all skew very golden or yellow in my opinion. I didn't like that. I don't usually go for that based off of my undertones. That's just me, but it's something you might want to know. The brand recommends that you apply this directly onto the face. And sure, you could do that. I don't do that. The brand also recommends that you use a couple of other steps in your prep. And of course they do. They're not dummies. They recommend using the Great Skin Instant Glow Serum, and then you can use the Great Skin Priming Moisturizer, and you can use both of these things. Know me is to know I have very, very sensitive skin, so I'm still patch testing the serum. I've tested the moisturizer briefly. I don't use either of these. I want to put the priming moisturizer more to the test. Instead, I gua sha my face every morning. I have a full routine that I do, and you can see that on the site. I use oil. This is the Le Prunier face oil that I'm putting on right now. Normally, I apply this, and then I gua sha on top of it and go from there. Everything gets plump. It just works for my face. It's worked for years. I'm 45. I've been doing it since almost since I started the channel, I think. Before I found it to settle a little differently, but this helps with coverage. Instead of applying directly to my skin, I put this on the back of my hand generously. And it glides on. And you could do this with the priming moisturizer too and make your own little tinted moisturizer. Do you have to have this brush? Absolutely not. I just really like the size of it. I feel like it works for me. So I'm priming the brush on the back of my hand. My hand becomes my palette. It looks like insanity at the end of these things. Just press it in. Probably not to the creases yet because I don't want a lot. And the older I've gotten, the more I have really come to embrace that less is more approach. A light touch and just pressing it onto the skin. If you've tried cream foundations and you're like, why does it always get patchy or weird on my skin? A lot of the complaints that I read is that this is drying on certain skin types. I agree. That happened to me a while ago. I wouldn't say drying though. I guess I disagree, but it creates texture. So if you have dry skin, it clings a little bit. Nobody wants that. That's not cute. Then I kind of buff it into this area because when I first tested this, I noted in the wear test, I'm jumping ahead, that there was a lot of texture here around the nose, just around the creases, because it was heavier and a denser, richer formula. It does have a lot of slip to it, glide. So it's a combination, which tends to be the case with cream foundations. This seems to be working for me. For under the eyes. Spoiler alert, I don't like using this as a concealer. The brand says it is a multitasker. You can get one shade for your face, one shade for under your eye. You can even use it as a contour in a different shade, and absolutely you can, but that's 38 times 3. So I'm not mad at their upsell capabilities. I'm just not sold that it's better than my current favorites in those two other categories, concealing and contour. This is shade Bisque. This is the one that I would potentially use if I wanted to use it under the eye. I'm pressing it into the corner. Very little bit. Very, very little bit if you're going to give this a shot. That works better for me than a brush. And I don't prime with any eye cream underneath the eye. So that's how I do it under the eye. if I use it, which I rarely do. Application is a 3 out of 5. It used to be a 4 out of 5, so it went down because it's a little bit fussy for me. Now onto coverage. This is supposed to provide full coverage. I found it to give a versatile coverage, light to medium. That's because of how I'm applying it. It makes a huge difference, but I'll just show you building the Palomino on this side. And I think it does well across the face. I think it evened out really nicely actually across the face. Coverage scored really well here at a 4. It was a 4 last time. Under the eye, I think it also covered well. And then one of the key things that I ended up really liking this time around was the spot treatment. So I had a little redness here. You can't see it. It's not picking up on camera. If you need quick spot treatment on the go, I think concealers are great for this too. I actually have a really great concealer from Jillian Dempsey that works for this, but this is kind of lovely if you need a couple of little touch-ups throughout the day. I like this for that. Coverage, again, like I mentioned, 4 out of 5. Finish is where it got me last time, and it got me again, and not like, oh, it got me, it won me over. It lost me a little bit on finish. So I'm looking between the two sides, and as I talk, I'm going to put this on the other side because it's starting to look uneven and imbalanced, and that's just throwing my brain off. The finish, while improved, I'm still seeing a little bit of heaviness and a tiny bit of separation when I'm looking up close. So definitely go light on the oil. That can prevent that from happening. But no matter how I try it, I'm still getting a little bit of that texture. Throughout the day, it goes away a little bit. I'll talk about that in the wear test. Under the eye, it is an instant creaser for me. So that's out. The finish that looked great was the spot treatment, the tiniest areas that were pressed in with my fingers. So that's why I got a 2 out of 5 for finish. It was a 3 out of 5. I debated on that. It feels harsh. So I'm still debating, as you can tell. For the wear test, for coverage on the face, that didn't fade. The finish got a little bit better throughout the end of the day. I'm just going to put on the rest of my face, by the way. The Westman Atelier bronzer stick, can you tell I'm just pushing it that's brushed into it to get every last stitch of this stuff. It's so good. The wear test across the face, pretty good in coverage. It stuck around. It wasn't one of those types of complexion products that looks really ruddy or not so hot by the end of the day. Finish, however, I still saw some separating a little bit around the nose. It was very subtle compared to how it used to be. Wear test under the eyes. I rarely wore this as a concealer, so I'm not giving it a fair shot there, but it was okay. It wasn't that great, and the creasing really threw me off. The one saving grace, again, happens to be wherever I was doing the spot touch-up. That's where I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Sometimes if it's in a place where I would get sweaty or it would get oily, then that would be a problem. But yeah, it was good. But overall wear test went down a little bit from a 4 to a 3. And total score did go down overall. It used to be a 15 out of 20. It's now a 12 out of 20, potentially a 13 out of 20. But yeah, went to a 12 out of 20. Does it beat my current favorites in the complexion stick and cream complexion categories? If you couldn't tell, no, it doesn't. A little bit of this Say Blush, another one of my favorites, speaking of favorites. If you want to see what I would buy instead, as opposed to this stick and my other current favorites, promo codes where I have them, all the updates are on the site and those things always update. It's just easier that way. If you tried this stick and you have feelings or thoughts on it, do share it below with your skin type. It helps. Hope this helped you figure out whether or not to buy this or try something else. Okay, that's all I have. Love ya. Bye.